His stuff. So
What's up, guys?
well. And I hear Doug in there, so let's just see if you hear Doug as well. Go ahead, Doug.
Hey, good afternoon. Vito and DJ, you guys are sounding great. Vito, you're like 5'8", DJ, you're 10 over. We're just waiting here for 2 feet of snow that's coming tonight into tomorrow. How you doing, DJ? Over?
Roger, yeah, I've been hearing that you guys are going to get blasted there in New York. So just hang on for a second, guys. There's a Victor Echo 3 Foxtrot.
Correction, Victor Echo 3 Foxtrot Juliet QSL.
Okay, I'm a little bit dyslexic, so forgive me, but go ahead.
Well, thank you very much there, sir. I just thought I was scanning the band. I just wanted to key up, say hello, see if you acknowledged. Just trying out this radio again. It's just turned it on, so I just.
What's up, Mike?
Well, you're 15 over here in the Lambton Shore, Southern Ontario. My call is Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie. His name here is DJ. Vito's up in Ottawa. Ottawa. He's up by Toronto. And Doug is up in New York.
Oh, very good, very good. Well, I'm not going to take much of your time. I just wanted to see if this good old radio...
Yeah, brother, I've been working on the audio all week.
Microphone with an audio interface hooked up.
Okay, yeah, well, you're too close probably for Vito to hear you. You're in Hamilton, I see. Doug should hear you, but no, it's working. I hear you quite well.
Hey, Victor Echo 3 Foxtrot Juliet. Do you have a copy on me?
I do, QSL.
All right, Roger. Name is Doug, Delta Oscar Uniform Golf, Long Island, New York. I didn't get your name. I heard you said you're running an audio interface. That's what I do over here. Station is a Sunsdr2 DX. All the audio is virtual. I process it all in Logic Pro. And so I have a virtual rack, and then I pump it over into the Sunsdr software. Over?
QSL, I was trying to do that with myself. I'm going to try that myself eventually. But, yeah, I'm just running like a Shure podcast microphone hooked up to a audio M-Track interface with the IC746 Pro. My name is Flynn, Foxtrot, Lima, Yankee, November, QSL.
All right, Flynn, Roger. Well, you're sounding good. How are you copying me? Over?
Do you want to come back? I wasn't looking at my meter, but come back and I'll give you a good reading there.
All right, KB2UKA, Long Island, New York. Over?
20 over.
All right, great. Vito, how you doing, brother?
Hey, there's the man working on his audio. You were in the shop working away, and I had the wrenches and the tools out, did you? Hey, Flynn, if you're hearing me, we're a little bit close, but I do hear you. So just give me a sec there, Doug. Flynn, are you copying me? This is Victor Alpha 3. Victor Mike Delta.
I changed everything, Mike.
Northeast of Toronto in Markham, Unionville. Do you copy?
I do copy you.
I changed the whole audio chain. Everything's in a different order, different compression.
Technology, and from what I could understand, you were hitting me about 10 over. So, but keep in mind, I'm running a homemade 80-meter loop only 20 feet off the ground.
Yeah, okay, well, you got to remember, we're really close. You're in Hamilton, I'm in just outside Toronto. So we're probably, it's getting that time of day where we're getting too close. So, but good to hear you in there. Just wanted to let you know that I was hearing you. So all the best, and stick around.
Thanks,
if you
brother.
like to. If not,
this is a very bassy profile.
Well. So, Doug, yeah.
I will be sticking around for a little while there, guys, and don't hesitate not to call me.
Big things are coming. So,
this is Victor Echo 3, Foxtrot Juliet.
Hold on, you guys doubled. Okay, 73, Flynn. Vito, what'd you ask? I'm sorry.
No, the other day I got a notification that big things were coming audio-wise. Notification coming from your YouTube channel. So what have you done? done, or what are you doing?
Okay, well, I'm on it now. This is the Basie Voodoo profile. I redid the entire virtual rack, and I basically followed NU9N's audio chain. So real quick, what's different? First, remember, everything's virtual. So I'm going to pretend it's not virtual, but everything's virtual. I start with a preamp plugin. Never did that before. Then I go right to the noise gate. Then I go to a compressor for a tiny touch of soft compression. Then I go into my exciters, my bass booster. Then I go into the EQ. Then I go into a heavy duty compressor. Then a brick wall limiter, and then the reverb. Over?
Oh, my God. Well, listen, you got that rumble in the jungle, because I can hear it. Like, it's definitely different from what you were running before. It's that, if you're looking for that voodoo sound, man, you're there.
I concur.
And what I believe, I was talking to Bill earlier and Art, the high end is still in there. Am I correct?
Yeah, it certainly is. Yep. It's got a good balance and presence on the high end. Yeah, it's not muddy. It's boomy. It almost sounds K1GMM-ish, if you know what I mean.
Well, him and I were chatting today via email, and that's the sound. You know, he always says, "What do you want to sound like?" And I want to sound like that. I want to sound like what I hear him sounding like. And of course, this profile is not for all the time. This is the first one I rebuilt. But I am going to keep that plug-in structure. I like it a lot. And, John, NU9N, he kind of like built this whole thing. So I figured let me emulate him. And but now I'm going to go back and I'm going to rebuild my regular 4K, which won't be as bassy. Then I'm going to build my 3K ESSB. Conditions aren't always going to be good where this will sound horrible if I'm 5 and 6. Over?
Yeah. Let me play the recording here.
Well, him and I were chatting today via email, and he always says, "What do you want to sound like?" And I want to sound like that. I want to sound like what I hear. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Thank you, DJ.
I love it too.
Yeah, it's the rumble, and you know what? I agree with Steve, man. That's my whole point. What do you want to sound like? It's not like how do I sound? Because whenever I hear that, I always say,
"What's
how
up,
do you want
Andy?"
to sound like? So if you're trying to accomplish that bottom rumble and that K1GMM kind of bottom rumble, then you're playing in that ballpark now.
Yeah, and you know what? Since I watched his first video probably a year and a half ago when he did when he was he's back on the analog, he's back on the rack stuff. When I got somebody coming, my wife's coming in and out, so you hear the and that's the one last key here. I'm getting rid of the condenser. I'm waiting on a mic that's going to get delivered in March, I think. I'm going to a dynamic. This thing's just too noisy, even with the noise gate. But when I watched his first how to set up a rack video, he had that sound then. And I've been trying to get that sound for a year and a half, so I think I got it now.
Yeah, listen, you could be playing with this thing every minute of the day. So there comes a point in time that I kind of I just leave it for a while, and then when I get re-energized, because after a while, it starts getting really hard to differentiate, especially if it's just yourself. You know what I'm saying? When I get to the point where, and I did that with my UR6, right? A lot of guys sounded, "Hey, man, you sound really good on the UR6," and I still have that in line here. I can bring that up within 30 seconds. I just got to load a config on the 7300, swap my XLR cable, and I'm back on hardware. So, but once I get settled into a certain profile, I just leave it for a while. And then once I'm satisfied with that, like the last little while I played with a couple of profiles, but I always seem to gravitate to this one. And so what I'll do now is I'm just going to play radio for a bit and just enjoy talking, helping everybody else out, listening to everybody else. And then when I'm bored one day, maybe I'll try a few things. I'll start playing with maybe with readjusting positions in the rack and stuff like that. But sometimes you just got to give it a break. You know what I mean, Doug?
I couldn't agree with you more. And I was like that for the last 4 months. And then I started, I didn't touch a thing for 4 months. And it sounded good. I liked it. And then I started, you know what? I really want a little more bottom end. And then I ripped everything apart. And I don't know, 3 hours a day for the last week. I finally ended here. But, I was telling my business partner, who's not an amateur radio operator, no, almost no one is. I was telling a bunch of guys at work, and one guy is very interested in it, especially the audio component. He used to be in a band, and he used to mix and all that stuff. And he said, the reason you love that hobby, and this really stuck with me. He said, because he watches the live streams and all that. He said, there's no end game. He said, all this stuff you tell me you're doing, there's no end game. When, like a month will go by that you don't show me something. And then when you show me it, it's you changing what you just showed me a month ago. And he said, that's really cool that there's no end game because the hobby never gets old.
Yeah, go ahead, pick it up, DJ. I don't want to leave you out. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm busy with something right now.
Okay, no problem. I'll pick it up. I just didn't want to leave you out, DJ. Okay, yeah. No, you know what? Listen, I did years of being a studio musician on bass guitar. I ran my own band for about 10 years. Stopped that in about 2000 and I want to say 2001 or no, sorry, what am I talking about? About 2010. And one of the things I said when I got into the radio
check.
I'm
1,
guys,
2.
I don't know about you, but when I get into a hobby, it's got to be I'm all in. Like all the chips are in. I can't do something halfway, whether it's my music hobby or my sport hobby, whatever it is. And I've always been like that ever since a kid. If I'm in, I'm in, man. Like I'm all in. Here's the chips. I'm in, right? So when you get to that state, my problem was when I got into radio.
Exactly, Andy.
Two of the things that I said I didn't want to do because I heard guys doing it was bring my computer background into the hobby with me, my networking background and my computer background because that's what I did for a living, and bring my audio music, component into the hobby. Well, I'll tell you, I was pretty successful for about 5 years. And then it all went haywire when I met Eric, N2RRA, with the UR6.
I'm not processing any of the receive right now,
October,
Igor.
When I actually,
Igor, that's all their audio. All their audio.
Set up. I didn't touch it for a year. But come November, this last October, November, and then, I started hanging around with Steve and whatnot. Greg. Well, guess what? So 6 years later, I guess bottom line, Doug, what I'm trying to say is 6 years later, I both have now the computer hobby into my radio hobby, and I got my music and audio stuff into the hobby. There you go.
Well, yeah. And it definitely comes full circle. I might have told you before. And by the way, DJ, if you're listening, you sound phenomenal. And Vito, you're up to like 10 over right now. And, I've been doing this since I was a kid, 13. I got licensed the first time. Hi, Jillian. My daughter just walked in. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, and my wife just walked in. Say hi, Amanda.
Hello.
Oh, yes. The noise gate picked her up. That means I have it set too low. I did it as a kid. I got reacquainted with it in my mid-20s. And then really almost 2 years ago, I started transmitting after 7 years. And I haven't been into it like this ever before, Vito.
Hi, ladies.
Yeah, and you know what? It's great. Well, listen, I obviously don't go back as far as you, Doug, but I grew up in the mid-'70s where CB radio was the thing, to do, and it was the social media. It was really the first social media when you think about it. That's what I tell my young adults. I go, listen, your Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Well, CB radio back in my day when I was, 12, 13 years old, I said that was my social media. So I always, it's something that stuck with me my whole life. And back in 2012 when I decided to kind of throw an antenna up to see what was out there, well, one thing led to the other. And in 2016, I actually, I wrote my ticket. My basic plus honors ticket here, and then I wrote my advanced about a year later, and here I am today. So this hobby to me just reminds me so much of when I was growing up, and all the great friends and the good times that I had back then. And I've made so many good friends on the radio since I've joined, and I mean good friends. Guys that I talk to not only now on the air, but that will message me or phone me or whatnot. So it's been very, very satisfying. And thank God during this pandemic over the last 2 years that I've had a hobby like this, because I'd go freaking nuts. VA3 VMD. Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, absolutely. I've made more friends this time around in the last 2 years than I think I did my whole ham radio career. So I'm a little younger than you, not much, Vito. I'll be 42 this year. So I was born in 1980. I remember getting a handheld CB, probably 6 or 7 years old. I wanted it, and man, I just fell in love with it. And then when I was like 10, 11, 12, I set up a CB station in the house, and I used to go to my grandparents' house, and my grandfather had a CB in the van, and I used to sit in the van in the driveway for hours and talk to people. And one afternoon, the neighbor came over a couple of houses down. He knocked on the window of the van, and I said, "Hey, Matt, how you doing?" And he threw this book into the van. This is a true story. And he said, "Read that book, take the test, and get yourself a real radio." He gave me the study guide, and the rest is history. Yeah, but with the pandemic, I built a custom PC myself to do gaming. So I was playing Call of Duty, and I was locked in here playing video games for 4 hours a day. And then I said to myself, you know what? Let me set up a radio station again. And I haven't picked up a video game since.
Wow, I didn't realize you were that young, man. How old did you say you were?
41. 41. My wife is 33. She'll like that I'm advertising that. And we have an 8-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Wow, I thought you were a lot older than that, man. I really did. I thought you were like, and again, I'm not thinking like, you look old, because I've seen you on the live, on the live streams and that. But I thought, you were in your, late 40s or maybe early 50s, like just from a maturity perspective, right? I didn't realize that you were that much younger, because I'm 58, so man, I got a few years on you. Holy crap, I got a lot of years on you. But I hold my age pretty well, so I'm told, anyways. But yeah, no, listen, the 70s for me. Okay, you got to remember, the mid 70s was the craze, was the CB craze, man. Like, it was the thing to do. So much so that if you Google a movie, it's on YouTube actually. It's called Citizens Band. You Google Citizens Band full movie. Okay, you can actually rent it. It's truly a movie. All it is, it's about CB radio. It was actually sponsored by Radio Shack back in the 70s. And actually, the lady that plays the resident lady, let me just leave it at that in case there's young ones in the room. She's actually, I've become very, very good friends with her. And she played Hot Coffee in that movie in the 70s. She was quite young then. She's almost 80 now. But she sent me a bunch of original, because she goes, nobody's going to take these, Vito. She sent me a bunch of original photographs, personally signed to me, including the original Paramount advertisement for the movie. So we became that good friends that she sent me a whole bunch of stuff because she goes, I got nobody to give it to when the time comes. So that era really resonated for me as a kid, and that's why I am in radio where I am today, Doug. Go ahead.
That's something. I'm surprised I've never seen that movie. I'm going to have to watch it now. And no, there's no children in the room anymore. That's really something else. Yeah, man. This is one place where I'm still the youngin'. Early 40s. I'm still young in the hobby, man. At the business I own, my business partner's 37. One of our managing partners, he's 58. But what's happening, Vito, it seems each year that goes by, I'm almost the oldest one in a room. But that's because I'm hanging out with younger people. That's what that means. I got to keep myself young. They say surround yourself with that. But it's such a cool hobby. What the coolest thing was, after the 7-year hiatus back in, mid-2020, then I started joining the ham radio Facebook pages, and lo and behold, there are a load of young people in their 20s and 30s getting into the hobby for the first time. Albeit 90% of them come in as tech, and then out of that 90%, maybe 5% move to general. But I know in the U.S., I think we're up to 1 million licensees, which it has not been that number in, maybe 40, 50 years. Over?
Yeah, I think the numbers have increased a little bit here, too. But I think part of that is, I think about 10 years ago here, they removed the requirement to do CW. And I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for the fact that they changed that, I probably wouldn't be a ham operator today. I just had no interest in picking up CW, to be honest with you, and that's probably one of the reasons why I never really entertained the thought.
I'm going to try that. I'm not processing the receive right now.
But when I came back in 2012, I actually threw up an Antron 99 that I had around, and I had an old President Washington 1979 non-modified radio that I threw up. And lo and behold, there was about a group of 10 guys in Toronto that were still on Channel 38, believe it or not. So I spent a few years, I think my first 3 years, just getting back onto the radio, talking to those guys. And then a couple of my friends that were hams that were on there too said, you know what, dude, you do great on the ham. You should really consider getting your ticket. And I thought, I can work the X here. I don't have to go on the ham bands and whatnot. And 2012, the cycle on 11 meters was freaking amazing. You could talk anywhere, Europe and everything. But anyways, long story short, the band kind of died on 11. The cycle kind of was fading out, and I was bored doing nothing. And one week I went online and I did the test 3 times
I've lost
a day.
Vito there,
for about 6, 7 days,
Doug, so I'm going to go
the point where
VA3
I
KBC.
got,
Have a good evening.
I was getting
All right, DJ. Yeah, he's fading on me too, but I still hear him. Thanks for the recording.
it. And so about a week and a
My
half
pleasure.
later, I ended up getting my ticket so that I could work all the bands, no restrictions except for power. And a year later, I wrote my advanced ticket. So the only really difference with the advanced ticket is you can run more power. I can run like 2250
Oh no! Did I just X out?
with the advanced. Whereas if you're just a regular basic plus honors, you can run, I think it's 565 watt PDP. So anyway, that's my story, Doug, and I'm sticking to it. VA3 AMD.
Well, it's funny how we all got into this. And by the way, DJ signed. He said he lost you. And then he signed. He said goodbye. I still hear you. It's just really funny. So yeah. So this will be the next thing to play with. Doing these new audio profiles with the new audio chain, and I don't know. I'm gonna get the antenna bug again, probably in the springtime, and that'll be a whole nother fiasco. But Vito, really good to catch you here, man. I did some testing earlier this afternoon with Art and Bill, and this is the first live stream I think I did all week, so it's a short one. But I got to take my daughter to dance, and yeah, we're gonna get hammered. We're looking anywhere from like 18 inches to 24 inches, and I think I spoke to you about this. Unfortunately, I have to go to Clark Gillies' wake tomorrow, which I think is going to be rescheduled to Sunday. Remember I told you the New York Islander worked with me? Suddenly he passed away about a month ago. Very sad.
Well, let me tell you, Clark Gillies, if I had a second team that I gravitated to because I was a Toronto Maple Leaf fan in the 70s, the team that I always wanted to win was the Islanders. So whenever the Leafs were knocked out of the playoffs, which was very frequently, all those series that the Islanders played against Montreal back in the 70s, that when the Islanders won their cup, I was the only one here rooting for Trottier, Gillies, and the rest of the boys, Potvin, Billy Smith. Yeah, that's tragic, man. Did they say how he passed away? He wasn't sick, was he?
I'm live streaming right now, so I'd rather not say. It was nothing nefarious, but it did just come out of nowhere. And very sweet man, very kind. Lit up a room when he walked into it. Him and I worked side by side every day for 2 years, so it kind of hit hard. So I'm going to say a final goodbye tomorrow. Well, Sunday. I know they added another time for Sunday, but nothing nefarious. But it was his time. Over.
Yeah, what a shame. What a shame. That's terrible. I was so saddened to hear that news. I know when the Leafs played the Islanders the other night, they had a moment of silence because it had just, it had just transpired, and I was devastated to hear that. Just totally devastated. So, well, I guess when your time is up and your candle is down to its bottom, your time has come, and it's unfortunate, but I'm sorry to hear that, and condolences to the Islander fan base and the family and everything. It's a shame, but I guess that's life. Not much we can do about it, my friend.
That is true, Vito. That is true. So you got to live each day to the fullest. It's easier said than done, but it's something that I tried to do. All right, 73, my friend. Really good to catch you. Sounding great as usual. And I don't know. The storm's supposed to stop at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. So I'm sure I'll be snowblowing a handful of times tomorrow. But I'll be playing radio a lot, especially in the morning. So if you hear me or you see the live stream, please come and say hello. 73, take care. God bless. KB2UKA, I'll be QRT on your final.
Okay, Doug. Well, listen, you guys stay safe over there. Don't over shovel, and be careful. I think we're out of the woods here in Ontario, so I know you guys are going to get blasted over there. So be safe. Take care. If you don't have to get out on the road, stay home and let the snow plows in the streets get cleared, and stay safe, my friend. All the best. And always a pleasure. This is VA3 VMD up in Unionville, Ontario, and we're QRT as well. Good night and stay safe.
All right. Good night, Vito. This is KB2UKA clearing frequency. All right, guys. That was a quickie. I haven't been on the radio all week because I've been messing around with this audio, but I'm happy with this profile, guys. This is the boominess that I wanted. I'm going to go listen back to it on the live stream. And for those of you in the Northeast, get ready. The snow be a-falling. 73, everyone. Have a great evening. Take care.